Hey everyone, as always, thanks for tuning in. Got my braces off, finally. New things for me. I feel so free now. Just look. It's so exciting. But I'm really excited to bring this video. It's basically going to be a review over the book I read called The Star People by Brad and Francie Steiger. I found this book, well, I think the book found me. The entire book really just resonated with me, like a side of myself that I can't even explain or put it into words. This video will relate most to Starseeds, but anyone can watch this and learn from it because there's so much good truth in this book. It was written in 1987, so it's like an old book, but it relates to now and connects with now and talks about what's happening now, and it actually foresees a lot of what is happening now. So to me, it's even more special because it's the beginning of the research of starseeds. They even have interviews from starseeds within this. A lot of the information is channeled by Francie. They talk about beings like unto Venus from the planet Venus. To me, that just relates to the heart chakra. Venus is in relation to the heart chakra. The book talks about how this is a method to activate and raise our consciousness. So to me, that just means being heart activated and opening our heart is key to ascension process. Having an open heart center and having a focused mind is really key to instant manifestation. And these beings from Venus are from higher dimensions of love. The book talks about now's the time you must teach the teachers. And starseeds are in helping professions like doctors, psychologists, teachers, ministers, nurses. And this now's the time is our sense of urgency. Like, it's within the starseeds, our mission, our purpose. We have the need to do our mission. It's an urgency to complete now. I really enjoy how this book goes through the different aspects of star people, like from creation to future events and how we get activated. The starseed creation, the star sowers, they couldn't just arrive and say, hey, this is the way, follow us. We'd be too shocked and it wouldn't work that way. And I've talked about this in my videos before. It would be invasion for us to just come down like that and try change the world like that. We have to do it from within the system. And so the starseed creation, and they would also risk being trapped in this earth vibration. And it mentions Genesis 6:4, when the sons of God came unto the daughters of men, how the genetic lineage was crossbreeded with extraterrestrial DNA with inhumans to initiate the starseeds. So once the nuclear age in 1945, the star ancestors like Elohim, which in Hebrew means those who came from the sky, they would not return until we raise our consciousness. This was a evolutionary activation purpose or a worry of our nuclear age ways. We are now open to more higher dimensions as humans. We've been in this ascension process. So in order for the starseeds to survive, there are three main things: self-preservation, preservation of species, and protect our knowledge. And as we know, DNA is the best storage info to protect and preserve a species. This book talks about a DNA packet activation within the starseeds that occurs through phylogenetic memory, which is like a dormant complex DNA within us that is triggered and activated, and so we remember who we are. The DNA packet consists of four things. 1, where we came from, our origins, to what made up our original civilization. 3, our true nature and abilities. 4, our mission and what we must do. This DNA packet is activated by our biological clock. The book also says it could be just by accident. It can happen over time. In the book it says how it fired for over 1 complete year. So that this DNA activation can happen. The time ranges however much you need to complete your activation. So our Starseed ancestor history, the Star people came over 40,000 years ago until 4,000 years ago. The contact was severed with physical humans, and the Star people sowers wish to preserve species and our history through seeds, also just to aid ascension for Earth. So the sowers on Earth appeared as gods, godlike in history. There's countless stories throughout all religions that talk about beings that came from the sky, and that it's just like a repeated story, and this is it. So the sons and daughters of God with humans is the Starseed. So the DNA packet was placed and seeded, and by 2000 BC, most sowers ascended. The difference between a person who is not star-seeded and a starseed is one who is unaware of their multidimensional reality versus one who is aware of their multidimensional reality. This book truly was research being done. Like, it even had a questionnaire. It's just amazing because they created this questionnaire because they were noticing everyone writing into them, saying and having all these common occurrences. It mentions how we have a activating vision at age of about 5, and then we also have a traumatic event occur at age of about 11. And I will talk more about the traumatic event in just a little bit. About the activating vision at about 5, I think I had that experience, but mine was like age 9, and that was my first meditation that I talked about in my Starseed documentary video. I really believe that's what my activating vision was. That's when I first realized about consciousness and expanding it. There's going to be Earth changes from 1954 until the end of the century, and I'll comment more on that too. Earth changes and cosmic events will occur to accelerate and raise human consciousness. The DNA packet, as starseeds experience it, it projects a scenario that involves the mind's eye of the young starseed, and it speaks wisdom that is embedded in genetic lineage for generations before the star child is born, within awareness of entities as messengers to alert starseed to be receptive for spiritual teachings. And during Starseed activation, our roles are to be reactivated through the DNA packet, to put out our Starseed creativity through books, poems, music, art, movies, whatever we create by us star people, to reactivate others, and so a ripple effect happens, and that's how the change and rise of frequency occurs and how we aid that. Going back to the trauma at age 11, and mine occurred around like 12 or 13. This event that happened to me in one of my videos, the Starseed documentary, about how I had an epiphany after being through pain and my depression and my first major epiphany. So this is what I relate that to, and in the book explains it how star people suffer traumatic experiences which cause us to turn inward, so we can be triggered to look inward and to know our true being. We have to have this happen. We have to suffer in order for this to occur. We have to go through the pain, the traumatic event, in order to have the epiphany. And it causes us to ask 3 big questions, philosophical questions that have been asked throughout humanity forever. 1, why am I here on Earth? 2, will I survive physical death? And 3, are we mankind alone in the universe? And to me, these are 3 big things that a 11-year-old or 12-year-old shouldn't be thinking about. Not normally. And that's really what I think is so crazy about being a starseed, is like we have this inner multidimensional reality, and it's at such a young age within us, and it's who we are, and become our starseed self. And it's just such a crazy thing because this isn't what normally happens through everyone's life. And when we awaken with a sense of mission, where we're here, and then we're able to grow through our pain and experience our inner shift, it's where we finally shift, take a huge step into shifting our consciousness. That's when it happens. We seek our inner guidance, we create our alpha consciousness, our God self, and we trigger and release the seed in our genes the DNA packet. This brings visions, memories, teachings, awareness. I had the epiphany, and it activates our purpose, our service, and it raises our vibration. The book mentions Earth existing possibly in a hyperspace and hypertime with 4 or more dimensions, which permits events and processes to occur in a non-linear fashion, multidimensional and unidirectional matter, past, present, future, happening now, in a hypersphere. And I really like this word hypersphere, hypertime, and I've actually found another book which talks all about that, and I know it's going to be a great book once I finish reading that one, and it talks about evolution and hypertime, so that is really important. And I love how that book talks about it, and this is from the 80s. Star people are guided to understand and discover that time and space have many dimensions in this hyperhistorical sphere that our multidimensional souls originate. And being multidimensional and the concept of multidimensional reality was one of my greatest first discoveries that I made when I was first beginning my awakening process as a starseed. I really love this metaphor they use in the book about source, truth. It says, there is one light, but many candles, each candle holding a piece of light. If the candle goes out, light continues. Humankind, there is one source energy, but we each have a piece of light and soul. The book explains how multidimensional beings travel in space and time, and they can do this 3 different ways. 1, by thought, through a thought reassemblage, like from one thought to another location. 2, by image projection, the concept of sender and receiver. And this is sort of how extraterrestrials can appear, probably as angels or other beings to your suiting, as they project their image to you through their traveling. And the 3rd way is through a temporary descension, which is actually being there and being in our physical space. And this is the risky way because you risk being trapped and not ascending back. And it mentions how there's a unknown travel that is soon to be revealed soon to us. And the book mentions a common term that starseeds come across, which is Holea, and Holea was an extraterrestrial who visited Earth centuries ago before the frontier of ascension, and they seeded the world of Holea within humans, which is their past and our future new Earth. And Holea, I tried looking up, there's not much on it, but Holea backwards is Halo, spelled in a weird way. But that's very interesting because Halo to me represents mastery of our God self, where we earn our halo, which is this world created within us. And Holea, the name is number 4 numerology, which is foundation, order, service, struggle against limits, and steady growth. The book mentions the Golden Temple, and I've written about Temple's gates in poems. Temple's gates was a temple of peace, harmony, and love, where all is one. That's how I thought of it as I intuitively knew about these temple gates. And the Golden Temple, which a lot of the Starseeds speak of, is located pretty much in between dimensions of Earth and higher realms, where we can go to this place to learn knowledge, love, and wisdom. It's pretty much where we go as students of Ascension to take classes and to grow. The book explains graduation and when does one graduate from school. This school and graduate is ascending, and school is Earth. I've read about graduation day on a cosmic scale, and I was always confused about it and what it meant. So this book really explains it, and graduation is on the physical level. It says when one has embraced and learned all there is to gain at that level, he or she is ready to graduate in vibrational frequency. Graduation is an automatic energy process, painless, beautiful, and destined. A quote from one of the starseeds in the book I like is, "I've always known I was different. My eyes cause comment to say the least. I am always attracting attention, whether I wish to or not. People seem to gravitate to me for some reason. This line is like my life, my eyes. People always comment on them because it's part of my Starseed feature. It draws them, something about me. People always talk to me. I'm always hearing everyone's problems. They always want to talk to me, and it's because I'm a Starseed now. I'm here to talk to them. Like, literally, it doesn't matter who it is. All walks of life somehow gravitate towards me. Another quote: I was told that I was too old for my age. Even my own mom. I remember on my 13th birthday, I got a card that said, you know, for 13, you sure you are like 24. And it was more than just me trying to be grown up. It was a wiseness beyond my age. Starseed birth and pre-birth experiences involve soul contracts. They aid our ascension and provide greatest vibrational patterns of learning to return to source, and our soul chooses these contracts. So all is well with them, our intentions, and with our plan for us to grow. Love, wisdom, knowledge raises our vibrations. We graduate and ascend from earth as we become our soul and our higher self. And the soul prompts a star seedling. Star seeds are placed in areas and positions of great impact to aid humanity and be of service to others. Starseeds may be passed from one generation to another. In the book, it says how Francie's grandmother was a starseed, so it kind of skipped a generation. So it can be through our generations if we want to look back at our family history and see who it was. And I agree with the Starseed locations. I was placed in a very impacted area. The United States is very vibrationally dense to grow through. The book talks about out-of-body experiences, and when you're experiencing an out-of-body experience, it suggests that we intend to meet with our spirit team, our spiritual guides, intend to meet with them to get a vision teaching and to go to the Golden Temple to get more vision teachings to help us ascend, and to also think about teleportation during out-of-body experiences and telepathy, because it's very strong here in this realm. But we have to be very careful with our thoughts and intentions because it's instant. So star people in past lives. So regression techniques is used when discovering a past life, and this is through hypnosis. And this regression is a recalling of our true purpose and mission. Our memories are activated when we release all of our emotions and our blocks, acceptance, and this resolves our past conflicts. We take responsibility for our energy now, and we release our past lives. Our internal quest to cleanse our psyche, our inner symbology, and to feel and to reveal our common soul, which is shared by several certain personalities during different timelines. So what we think of as our past life is actually just, it couldn't even have been us. It could just be a facet of that common soul which we are connected to. And this is sort of a channel of the memories through the common soul to us during past life hypnosis. Francie channeled an awesome picture image to imagine the common soul in past lives. And the way to see this is we have our present self-manifestation, current, and which connects to the common soul with common memories. That is common memories. It doesn't mean we actually lived it. So past lives is very complex. It doesn't mean we lived it, but it's our common memory that we are connected with. It's like our one soul. And then it's expressed in many different individual lifetimes. Check it out. Very artistic. Here we go. Here's our higher self soul. This is the higher realms above sparkles, clouds, you know, all the good stuff. And here it goes up. But this is realm of time. Here's the clock. There's the different individuals, and sometimes they die. So this higher self soul has many different life forms, and the life forms, many different ones, but they contribute growth back to the soul. Some shine and continue to ascend, and others don't. It really depends on the life form, the choices we make, but it all comes back at these different life forms. So that's sort of a way to picture it. This book is really cool because even though some of it, or a lot of it, is channeled information, they also want it to be as much research and evidence-based as possible, and they actually put Francie under lie detector tests to see if her channeling is she's lying or if it's the truth. And of course it comes up as true. They're just doing it to make a point that what she's saying is real. And the relationship between our higher self and our spirit in us, our soul, is that our soul needs us as much as we need it. Through the awareness and learning from experiences, raises our vibration to be one with our soul and to ascend to source. Dreams are very similar to meditation. We are very open to receive visions and contact by higher beings while we dream and sleep. Meditation helps raise consciousness by receiving awareness teachings. But dream is also an excellent tool. My dreams are very meaningful personally, and I do dream work all the time, and I learn a lot about my life through that way. Vision teachings are from higher realms. They use symbols as language. Single images represent whole thought forms. This is thought awareness, which is beyond reality limitations. And the book suggests how to dream work, which I really want to try. And it suggests to keep a box of symbols, A to Z, next to your bed. Like, for example, shoes, S, shoes, symbols, shoes. If you dream of shoes, it might mean something along the lines of, and you can create as you wish, but this is just an example. Could mean something about your foundation or something like that. So when you dream, you wake up and you have a dream of a shoe or whatever it is, you write it down and you put that dream within that category of symbol. Certain people are triggered by symbol systems because it links to our dormant memories within our DNA packet to remember. When you interpret your dreams, you don't really need to overthink it too much because you already know the meaning. It's almost unnecessary. Some common dreams that starseeds have include crystal city, classroom, robed beings, meeting higher beings, and UFO, animal communication through oneness, sky with 2 moons, new planet and vision, crashing from the sky, fire within space, vehicle, alien, home planet beyond stars, meeting perfect image of oneself, moving through rainbows and its vibrations, traveling to another planet or dimension, and recognizing its home. So how we know truth and inner discernment. Vision teachings create a knowing from 2 main factors. 1, we have known it before. 2, belief of truth. That's what the teachings bring. Once you receive the vision, and in discussing the vision, you are able to explain and understand beyond your initial vision. So it initiates your understanding just by explaining it. Vision teachings bring a certain frequency which elevate and raise our awareness, and we comprehend that frequency in various perspectives and allows greater depth of awareness. Vision teachings are living vibrational truths composed of varying levels of awareness depending on your awareness. What you give, you receive that level of truth near your own understanding. Truth teachings separate to our understanding, yet it is one perception. In this connection, they appear to grow in complexity until one's awareness permits us to reach one truth in totality, which is God. And that's the paradox of truth, and that's what it appears so complex, but really it's all one truth in different views. It's hard to even explain it. It's kind of like a mind blower. And the book mentions that prayer is sending and meditation is receiving, and to not confuse the two. When you meditate, you don't want to send out anything. You want to be still and calm and silent so you can receive, listen. Praying, you can do all the communicating and sending. The book mentions 3 steps of awareness, and it's sort of a guided meditation to expand your awareness. And it goes 1, you cleanse yourself in the ocean of life, and 2, you reflect in the crystal river and in the crystal city. 3, you drink from the golden chalice of God's love, and you enter the golden temple of love, wisdom, and knowledge. The book explains it much longer than that, but that's really condensed 3 steps to awareness. The book comments on automatic writing and how thought transference comes through our channel, pretty much channeling higher beings, our higher self, and they don't sound like us. These thoughts are being received, and I call it my philosopher's mind. That's what I would call it. And it's our thoughts in their purest form. They are guiding us, and it really doesn't sound like us because it isn't us in our human self. And we are receiving these thoughts. You can also receive words, songs, other things, phrases that come to you. And during the morning time is best when I receive these thoughts. And it's as if you are being boomed and receiving these sentences through our consciousness. Abilities and special gifts such as that the Starseeds possess, such as hearing electricity pitch, hearing high pitches, thinking at people and animals to manifest desires, telepathy with animals, transcendence by meditation, contact to higher reality, leads to many abilities, healing and communicating with higher beings. These abilities are common once in the higher vibrational reality. It's a common ability. It's not special once you're there in this reality. It's up to us to access it and attune to the reality by our frequency. And I love what the book says. These starseeds are connected to the undercurrent of life that emerges in various realities, the life force. And these abilities are common because they're manifestations of source. Meditating and focusing on any object allows us to pierce through dimensions and that divide us, and they lift the veil. And starseeds, we more easily access these abilities because we are more sensitive to these abilities because of our genetic inheritance from our ancestors. So we can use meditation to discern which of our abilities best fit us for our mission. This book does a very well job on explaining Armageddon and how this battle of light and dark that is prophesied in the Bible explains it very well. How it's the final battle of light and dark, a resolution of our past conflicts before Judgment Day, which is graduation and ascension and the end of our cycle. And it represents the final battle between the forces of light and dark. Humankind struggles with duality and perceiving good or evil, when really good and evil are two sides of the same coin. Polarity exists on spiritual planes of earth, God and Satan. Christians prophesize the merging of these two polarities during Armageddon, Judgment Day, where sheep are separated from the goats. We face our responsibility by choice through self-judgment. Polarities create learning, whether chosen or not. The learning occurs regardless. Theories of good and evil surround humans until mass confusion exists, which is where we're at now. Understanding and explaining good and evil in words, it's hard to define it because duality must be experienced to know spiritual balance beyond the contradictions that they are one. Karma and divine justice, the cause and effect of these energies. As matter transcends, justice shifts towards divinity. Karma is speeding up and coming to its demise. This is where we're at right now in our collective experience. The 1960s brought the end of a karmic cycle, and the 70s brought the time of learning. 80s, karmic immediate return began, and we began to receive all of our karma in this lifetime. We're getting what we put out right now. And then in the 90s, divine intervention and new karma towards divinity shifted. Good is returned threefold, 3 times to bring the cosmic person for the new age. And on earth, humans, they gather our love, wisdom, and knowledge, vibrations by experience, and by embracing the duality towards source. Vibrational polarity determines our experience. Karma, the established divine justice system, all good, bad, is returned for growth and learning. An eye for an eye, governed by divine forces, reward and punishment, heaven and hell, to guide us. Awareness is positive, whole, on God's side, God vibration. Ignorance is negative, empty, ego, and Luciferian vibration. It is the pull between the two energies that creates experience. Experience permits the learning of our awareness, and our awareness, that is our life. A spoiler alert of this battle, I'll let you know the winner. I'll let you know it's secret. If you didn't know it, the light will win. Light always wins the battle. Awareness always wins. 666 represents Satan and Luciferian vibration, and 999 represents God and God vibration, and really it's the same thing flipped upside down. So that's the connection, and that's the battle, that's the challenges, is between those two. God's triumph is already written, the light is already written to triumph, and creating a internal pull of positive and negative is what we go through to learn. And as we experience, it permits learning and awareness, which is positive, enabling us to go towards source and our ascension. All physical experience is governed by 3 things: polarities, the battle experience, Armageddon, and the winning and raising of vibrations. To go through, we have to go within. That's why they say that. We have to go through the underworld, through hell, to receive our heaven. And that's the journey through ourselves, where we win greater awareness and create the new world, or the new Jerusalem. The book mentions prophesized earth changes, pole shift, a pole reversal, and central sun. It talks about the central sun. I'm going to go through all of those. So the Armageddon battle, it's the struggle, and it is the end of a cycle. This ending of the cycle triggers Earth's changes. These are violent natural events that happen, like earthquakes, fires, floods, tsunamis, tropical storms all across Earth. And I'm seeing this happening right now, like left and right on the news. There's something really crazy that happens in the world, a natural event that happens. This has really just occurring. Like, I haven't experienced this before. I've never experienced a wildfire before. We just went through wildfire in California, and it was really crazy, and there's still other wildfires going, and there's lots of things happening, earthquakes, other things happening. This is just what's happening right now, and it's amazing that this book goes through it. So these earth changes are caused by the end of cycles, activating changes that occur in our vibrational structure of Earth. The end of the cycle triggers a pole shift, a pole reversal of its axis, and this happens every 9,000 years in the book, it says. And when I looked it up, NASA talks about pole reversals and how it happens all the time in our Earth history. Not all the time, but it is a natural occurrence. NASA says reversals happen every 200,000 years, and the process occurs over hundreds and thousands of years, so we're going through this shift right now. And during the process, Earth's magnetic field is weakened during this reversal of the poles. North and south gets reversed. So the magnetic field around is just weakened and allows greater flow of frequency from the central sun. The central sun, I had to look up more about it. It's very complex because it's very important and it's hard for me to understand, but you know, the minds talk about it. So our sun is connected to the central suns, and our central sun is called Alcyone from Pleiades star system, and there are many suns and central suns, and they're connected to greater central suns, which those greater central suns are aligned to the galactic center, which is a black hole and portal essentially between higher and lower dimensions. Our solar system is in outer orbit from Alcyone and the photon belt of the central sun. We are currently within the photon belt for 2,000 years, since 2012, which was marked as the end of time and within the Mayans, but really, of course, it was a shift from that time to a new world and a new age. And we are now in the age of Aquarius, the new age, golden age, and we are creating it. Earth changes are within us, but not caused by us. They are caused by the grander cycle. Frequencies from central sun are emitted towards us, and we are stronger in receiving it during our pole reversal due to our weakened magnetic field. And this rise of frequency from the central sun causes resistance in humans during this ascension. So the pole reversal shift may occur anytime before the year of 2000. New age will be birthed for 20 years. Or that's so it says. It's gonna be a while we create this new world. The book, this is really special about this book, super special, contains a warning during these earth changes from a channeled vision teaching from Francie that the coastal areas are dangerous during these earth changes, during these events. The changes are predicted to accelerate in the 80s, so they're happening right now, they're accelerated, and they're probably going to get worse, so we need to be very aware of these warnings that are out here, and so we need to stay strong during these times. Everyone will be affected, like every area will be affected, but she channeled a map with 3 lines of distinct areas of danger, like a 3-taloned claw along the map. So the first talon crosses diagonally downward over the eastern region. This is old, so this is how she describes it. Eastern region of Soviet Union, then lower into eastern China. Okay, so I try to draw this map. So this is the first claw through that region. First claw. Second talon crosses diagonally downward across central Canada into mid-California. I'm in California, people. I don't plan on staying here anyways. It's funny, where I'm called to is one of the safe places, which I'll get into. This is so cool. Through Greenland, through Canada, through California. And then the third one crosses central Greenland from northwest to east, move downward into Mediterranean and into North Africa. So the third one goes like this. Boom. So those are the areas. Don't mind my shitty map. This is just a little sketch, but you can see clear enough that those are the areas you want to steer clear from. Danger zones. And so all areas along the towns are affected, but the coastal areas will suffer more. And the areas farther inland are least affected. So the safe regions she mentions are mainly deserts. Major parts of Arizona, southern parts of Colorado, large western of New Mexico and northern Mexico, inland Australia, mid-Arabia, southwest of Soviet Union, and the driest region of northwest China. And what's funny is I'm already called to go to Arizona. I'm already called to go to this desert. I'm ready. So catch me there as soon as I can get there. And I'll catch you, Starseeds, there too. So the book ends with a practical guide for the new age, and it talks about twin flame star unions. So during the shift, the gathering of the clan, as they call it in the book, which is our tribe, whom we've once worked with before, but separated to do our own solitude soul work, we strive to return home and we unite with starseeds. And this helps our inner struggles, and we recognize them from within. It's a heart connection. I've met a handful of starseeds, and it's instant knowing, but uniting is so strong and it activates a lot. So I'm grateful to have met the ones that I've been able to so far. And it talks about how when two people come together, a life force is created between them, and this goes for any two or more people, like any group of people, a nation, anything that comes together with a purpose creates a life force. And so a balancing of nurturing, giving, and receiving for the life force created the entity to survive or die. And this is seen as divorce, bankruptcy, a revolution, separation, collapse, destruction. If you think about our resources, metal, crops, water, air, are we in balance? Ask yourself, are we in balance or imbalance? Our family and entity. So us star people, we leave our mark through plays, books, poems, paintings, sculptures, movies, TV shows, YouTube videos. We are the seeds that rise the spark within our people. So our people are uniting and growing in numbers. Starseeds no longer attract painful events to grow, but reflect their higher self and higher soul. Each person is a fragment of their soul on earth, just like the vision teaching I showed you. And love is our highest frequency here. And those who reflect our soul and higher self can experience the true love and twin flame union and star union. This accelerates a common mission and aids all life and expands consciousness through twin flame unions. And it mentions Genesis 2:24, become as one flesh. We come together so we can raise vibrations. A beautiful thing that Francie mentions in the book is that what she prophesies, and she talks about terror towns underground and how we're going to have society underground, and this is where our new age communities will be. And I just like the idea of this, and I wanted to put this in the video, that we're going to gather and we're going to live in harmony. And I love the idea. She also mentions how we're going to have like garbage converters, which just converts waste into energy, and I think that's really beautiful idea. Thank you so much, Starseeds, for tuning in, and I hope you learned a lot from this video. Thank you so much for always supporting me, and I'll see you guys next time.